So before we get into the highlights, I have to show a pretty funny meme from yesterday that I saw on Twitter. If you take the facial hair of Eddie Rosario and you combine it with Tony Gonsolin of the Dodgers, you would have exactly one full beard. I thought that was kind of funny. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap postseason edition. We do this almost every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as if you're going to any sporting events anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Astros versus the Red Sox. This series is knotted up at 2 games apiece, and usually 71% of the time, whoever wins game number 5 goes on to make the World Series or advance in that said series. So I predicted that Framber Valdez was going to toss a 7-inning gem, and he actually did better than that. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because I also said that Chris Sale would be solid, and he was, aside from one single pitch to Yordan Alvarez in his at-bat in the 2nd inning with the Oppo Taco. Yordan, he smirked running around third base, and that irked a lot of Red Sox fans, saying, why is Yordan smirking? He's probably cheating in some capacity. But Yordan was not done just yet. A 2-run double later on sucks the air right out of Fenway, and Houston tacks on a little bit more. Yuli Gurriel finds a hole, and Jose Siri brings home 2 more to make it a 7-0 ball game for Framber Valdez. Brantley, he pours salt in the wound, and Devers momentarily sparks some life in Boston, but it was not enough because Framber Valdez tosses 8 innings with 5 strikeouts. He only allows that 1 earned run to Rafael Devers, and then for good measure, Yuli knocks in 2 more. Could you imagine having the AL batting champ, Yuli Gurriel, at 37 years old? Also, props to him for winning the batting title at 37 years old. But the fact that he is Houston's number 7 hitter, how are you supposed to beat them? You can't pitch to anyone. So at this point, the series is 3-2 in favor of the Houston Astros, and they are going back home for the final 2 games. Now, luckily, the Boston Red Sox do have Nathan Eovaldi going for game number 6. He will be on the bump. I don't know who will be the game 6 starter for the Astros. I think it's going to be Luis Garcia, but we don't know at the moment. After the game, Chris Sale, he was interviewed, and he had a very interesting quote because he was fired up during the game. He was only bad for 1 inning, and yeah, he said this.
I was good for 5 and I sucked for 1. I had to leave everything out there. I told myself coming into this game I had a job to do, and obviously didn't get it done, but I left my nuts out there on that mound tonight, that's for damn sure.
If this goes to game 7, could you pitch again? Not as a starter, but
I'll pitch tomorrow if I have to. I got nothing else going on for the next 6 months.
That is the first time I have ever heard anyone ever, not even just talking about baseball players, anyone say that they left their you-know-what out there, meaning that they tried their best and there was nothing left in the tank. So, yeah, I'm not going to be using that phrase anytime soon, but there you go.
And that's the light we think that they were referencing, and then magically it, poof, went away.
If you're confused as to what you just saw or heard, there's a light in center field at Fenway, and it was active while the Red Sox were hitting. So a lot of Astros fans were saying, hey, the Boston Red Sox are cheating. They're relaying signs using a device in center field. Well, if you guys did not know, there is a restaurant in center field behind this gate that's clearly just a random customer on their phone. Like, what are we doing? Moving on over to the Braves versus the Dodgers. The game before this one, we saw Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts team up to make it a 2-1 series, and the Braves, they're trying to make it 3-1 for a 2nd consecutive postseason against the Dodgers. They both have a scoreless first, and then Rosario, he changes that in the 2nd with an opposite field home run. I don't even know how he was able to get to this pitch, let alone drive it out the park. He has been a beast for Atlanta. Adam Duvall gets in on the home run action and then robs Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux is out of Lux. A lot of people do not like that joke, but I think that it's funny. But realistically, he has been very unlucky in this postseason going to center field. Freddie Freeman, he hits a home run, and then Jock Peterson, his single in the 3rd, makes it a 4-0 ball game against Julio Urias. Drew Smiley was fantastic in relief. He did eventually end up allowing 2 earned runs off the bat of AJ Pollock in the 5th inning, but that was it for the rest of the game for the Dodgers, as the Atlanta bullpen only allowed 2 hits in the final 5-ish innings. And then for good measure, Freddie has an RBI double, and Eddie Rosario just misses a cycle. All he needed was a single, and instead of going for it, he smashes his 2nd home run of the game. And again, again, that would have been his second cycle of the season, 2 of them with the Braves in just a short amount of time. The Braves take a commanding 3-1 lead over the Dodgers, and realistically, the biggest reason why is because of all the trades that they made at the deadline. They picked up Eddie Rosario in exchange for Pablo Sandoval, and then Cleveland immediately released Pablo, so they pretty much got him for a bag of balls. Adam Duvall, he was traded from the Marlins in exchange for Alex Jackson, who has a combined 27 OPS plus in 61 games. Jock Peterson was traded for in exchange for Bryce Ball, who had a 738 OPS at A-ball, and then Jorge Soler, he was acquired for Casey Kalick, who has a decent arm, but realistically, the Braves had one of the best trade deadlines in baseball history, considering the effect that they're having on this series. Let me just read off the stats from those 4 guys. So Rosario, Duvall, Peterson, and Soler. This is what they have done in 101 plate appearances in the postseason. A .341 batting average with 6 home runs, 21 RBIs in 8 games. They have been insanely good. Now, unfortunately, we have to talk about a few negative things in regards to the Dodgers. Now, I did not show this when we were highlighting the game because I do want to talk about it a little bit in depth. Justin Turner, he left the game after he re-aggravated his left hamstring. He's probably going to be done for the remainder of the postseason. He had to be helped off the field. So the Dodgers have lost Max Muncy, Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May. There's a lot of different guys that we can bring up. But then if you look at the Atlanta Braves, they've also lost Ronald Acuna. They've lost Mike Soroka, Huascar Ynoa. They lost a lot of guys as well. So when you make it to the postseason, usually injuries are not going to be an excuse that people like to bring up. But hey, it's valid in my opinion. That's a lot of superstar talent not on the roster. Then again, Trey Turner is experiencing the worst stretch of his career. He is 6 for his last 40 with only 1 run scored, 1 RBI, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts over his last 9 games. So taking into account injuries as well as the kind of core of the Dodgers lineup not really performing, unless we're talking about Corey Seager and Cody Bellinger, they're not getting much production. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think is going to win the game today? We have Max Fried going for the Braves. If they win today, they will be heading to the World Series for the first time in over 20 years. And to me, this looks like a very winnable game for the Braves. And every single time I predict a Dodgers game, I get it wrong. So if I think the Braves are going to win, I should say the Dodgers will win. So that's what's going to happen. The Dodgers are going to win today, which most likely means that the Braves are actually going to make it to the World Series. So there you go. Now, one thing I do want to talk about real quick, Alex Wood, the starter for the Giants, formerly with the Reds as well as the Dodgers, he put out a tweet talking about how the broadcasters or even former players talk about back in my day a little bit too much, essentially claiming that they are stuck in the past. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, do you think that it's important to reminisce on the past and learn from it, or should we just push that to the back of our minds and go with the adapt mentality, the fact that OPS is better than batting average, or even WRC plus is better than OPS? So should we just completely negate guys like Ichiro who put the ball in play, or guys like Pete Rose? Because if you look at their stats, Pete Rose called out Joey Gallo, but Joey Gallo through his career has a higher OPS plus than Pete Rose. So does that mean that Joey Gallo is a better hitter than Pete Rose? No, but there's also other ways to evaluate players now. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think is the best mindset to have going forward? Should it be a little bit of the past combined with StatCast? Should it all be StatCast? How should we approach baseball? All right, everyone, well, that is going to do it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We are coming down to the final games of the season. Both the Astros and the Braves can advance to the World Series if they win their next games. I'm hoping that the Dodgers come back as well as the Boston Red Sox. I love Game 7s, so if we can get 2 of those in one single championship series, I will be over the moon, and I'm going to try and go to at least 1 World Series game. So it doesn't matter who makes it. I'm going to try and go vlog. But thank you again for watching. Stay safe out there and enjoy this day in MLB history when Carlton Fisk, he literally waved a ball fair.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win. And the series is tied 3 games apiece. Carlton Fisk hit a 1-0 pitch. They're jamming out on the field. His teammates are waiting for him.